To punish his unfaithful wife, the man uses the pretext of a weekend getaway to lure her to a remote countryside cabin. Once they arrive, he first gathers a heavy sack of stones and stows it in the boat for later use, then pulls out tools he's prepared in advance. With everything in place, he pours ether onto a white cloth and slowly approaches his unsuspecting wife. He's convinced his plan is foolproof, but he's badly underestimated her. When the man wakes up, he finds himself bound tightly to a chair with duct tape his wife had prepared herself. Eyeing the strange tools hidden in the basement, Lisa concludes that her husband intended to knock her out with ether and dispose of her. Confronted, Jack naturally denies everything, claiming the ether is just cleaning solvent, the tape and rope are ordinary travel supplies, and the saw she found is simply a tool he keeps around. As for the stones in the boat, he claims it's just a personal hobby. Lisa doesn't buy a word of it. Ignoring her husband's desperate explanations, she simply walks away. Watching his wife abandon him, restrained and helpless, Jack spots the saw on the table and immediately starts forming a new plan. But what he doesn't anticipate is how completely his carefully laid scheme falls apart in his wife's hands. Even the hunting rifle he'd hidden in advance ends up working against him. As it turns out, the marriage has been hollow for a long time. Jack is a washed-up independent filmmaker, buried in debt from a midlife crisis. Lisa is a barely known actress with striking looks but mediocre talent, and despite her husband being a director, he's never once cast her in any of his projects. Resentment over the marriage has long since pushed her into an affair. What looks like a romantic weekend retreat is, in truth, a trap set by both of them, each secretly hoping to engineer an accident and walk away with the other's massive life insurance payout. As the two finally lay their cards on the table, their conflict escalates further. The husband's bitter, sneering attitude pushes Lisa over the edge entirely. Just as the argument reaches a boiling point, Jack's close friend quietly slips into the cabin, and with a few pointed hints from Jack, the entire situation flips on its head. It turns out that before the trip, worried he might not be able to overpower his formidable wife on his own, Jack had hired his old buddy Henry as backup, offering him half of Lisa's insurance payout, $50,000, for the job. Hearing all this laid bare by Henry himself, Lisa erupts in fury, hurling insults at both men. But bound hand and foot, all she can do is rage helplessly. Just as it seems the outcome is settled, one offhand comment from Henry suddenly hands Lisa a lifeline. The actual policy is worth a full $1 million, and Jack only offered his friend $50,000 of it. The sharp-witted Henry quickly realizes he's been shortchanged, and at gunpoint, confirms it. Jack tried to buy him off with a fraction of the real payout. Sensing Henry wavering, Lisa immediately counters with an offer of $500,000 to take Jack out instead. Not to be outdone, Jack ups his own offer to $700,000. As Henry hesitates, torn between the two, Lisa drops an unexpected bombshell. She'll introduce him to her closest friend. Seeing the tide turning against him, Jack seizes the moment Henry is distracted and lunges into action. Taking advantage of the chaos, Lisa breaks free of her restraints and joins the scramble for the rifle on the floor. In the resulting struggle, Henry is accidentally shot and killed by the couple's crossfire. Staring down at Henry's lifeless body, the two trade accusations before launching straight back into their own fight. Jack, now armed with the rifle, quickly gains the upper hand, forcing Lisa to flee upstairs to avoid him. As the battle shifts to the second floor, what looks like the final showdown between husband and wife is about to begin. But an unexpected twist interrupts everything. Three figures suddenly drop down from the attic above. It turns out three escaped convicts had already been hiding in the cabin's attic before the couple ever arrived. To avoid drawing unwanted attention when the couple showed up, all three had stayed hidden upstairs, and the earlier gunshot exchange between Jack and Lisa happened to wound one of them in the backside. The convicts, who'd wanted nothing to do with any of this, find themselves dragged straight into the couple's murderous feud. With both Jack and Lisa now tied up, the convicts get straight to business, pay up, or face the consequences. Jack offers up his wallet upstairs, but the lead convict has already checked it, and is none too pleased to find only $53 inside. Lisa quickly chimes in that she has $100 in her pocket, offering it all in exchange for their safety. Between them, the couple has only $150 on their entire getaway. Convinced they're being played, the furious lead convict orders the group's biggest, bald enforcer to rough up Jack as a lesson. Realizing the threat is very real, Lisa quickly cuts in to stop things from escalating, offering up $50,000 she secretly saved over the years, promising to take them to the bank in town the next day. That night, the couple is locked in the basement together. Mortified by how far things have spiraled, Lisa is overcome with regret. But both of them now understand the harsh truth. The moment the convicts get their money tomorrow, they'll have no reason left to keep either of them alive. With no other option, the two set aside their marital war and agree to work together if they want any chance of surviving. Before long, Jack notices a pool table nearby and gets an idea. He shouts loudly, claiming he needs to use the bathroom, hoping to draw the convicts' attention. The bald enforcer sent down tells him to just relieve himself where he stands, but once he learns Jack needs to do more than that, he reluctantly agrees, though cautiously removing the toilet lid first as a precaution. While Jack is in the bathroom, however, the bald convict takes the opportunity to grope Lisa. Luckily, Jack emerges just in time, and notices the bald man's sock has mysteriously gone missing from his foot. The next instant, the man collapses unconscious, giving the couple a brief window to escape their immediate danger. By the time the other two convicts come to investigate the noise, the couple is already long gone. Realizing their hostages have slipped away, all three armed convicts charge out after them, scouring the surrounding area relentlessly. Lisa carefully makes her way to the car, hoping to drive off immediately, only to realize the keys are still back in inside the cabin. Forced to gather her courage, she heads back in to retrieve them. Unluckily, the bald convict's flashlight has just died, sending him back toward the cabin at the very same moment. Just as Lisa grabs the keys and turns to leave, the bald man, armed and clearly still furious about being humiliated and knocked out earlier with nothing but a sock, appears right behind her. No matter how desperately Lisa pleads, offering to take him straight to the bank, his rage refuses to cool, and he raises his weapon to finish her off. Just in the nick of time, Jack steps in to defend her. The hulking bald man quickly pins him to the ground, prompting Lisa to charge in and unleash everything she has, drawing pained howls from her attacker. But against his sheer size advantage, she's quickly overpowered, and Jack soon suffers the same brutal beating. With his wife's life on the line, Jack rallies once more, drawing the bald man's focus away and finally giving Lisa a moment to breathe. Watching her husband get pinned down again on her behalf, Lisa grabs a knife and rushes to help, but stabbing him once does nothing at all. She runs back for more knives, plunging blade after blade into him, yet he refuses to go down. It's only then that she realizes her attacks aren't even hurting him. Just as the bald man turns his fury toward her for revenge, Jack seizes the moment from behind and delivers the decisive blow, finally bringing the relentless enforcer down. Before either of them can catch their breath, the other two convicts return, confident their formidable enforcer would have easily handled the couple by now. Instead, they find him beaten nearly to death by the very two people they'd underestimated. After surviving this ordeal together, the hostility between Jack and Lisa finally dissolves. As the old saying goes, true feelings reveal themselves in hardship. And in this moment, the embattled couple realizes they still love each other deeply. Jack hands Lisa the car keys, telling her he'll hold the convicts off to buy her time to escape. No sooner has he said this than the convicts close in with weapons drawn. Jack suddenly appears and takes one down, clearing a path for his wife. But just outside, the other escaped convict grabs hold of Lisa. And once again, Jack rushes in to bring him down in time. Believing they're finally about to escape, the couple is blindsided when the lead convict, Mark, suddenly bursts through an upstairs window and leaps down toward them. Caught off guard, Lisa instinctively grabs a pitchfork lying nearby. But, impossibly, the supposedly defeated bald enforcer rises back up, while Mark himself proves every bit as vicious, ripping the pitchfork free from his own body before storming off in a rage to grab a lawnmower, fully intent on finishing the couple off for good. Just as the convicts savor their apparent victory, a red sports car comes roaring in, sending the ruthless Mark flying through the air on impact. A white-haired old man steps out of the car. Jack's father. A friend who'd passed by the cabin earlier had mentioned the shattered window glass, prompting the old man to rush over urgently that very night. The moment he arrives and takes in the scene, his son, his daughter-in-law, and the men surrounding them. The retired Marine veteran understands instantly what's happening, and without a word, raises his weapon and fires. But his moment of triumph is short-lived. Just as the old man moves to deal with Mark, the female convict seizes the opportunity to stab him straight through the heart from behind. The old man's life ends as swiftly as it began this fight. But even in his final moments, he manages to hold the convicts back long enough to give his son and daughter-in-law a chance to flee. Jack quickly grabs his wife and speeds off in his father's borrowed sports car, with Mark firing shots after them from behind. The car eventually loses control and crashes into a tree after putting some distance between them. Their only remaining escape route is a speedboat docked nearby. Jack hands the keys to Lisa, telling her to go ahead without him. He intends to go back and avenge his father. Back at the cabin, the wounded female convict drags herself inside, struggling on her injured foot. She's barely finished a makeshift bandage when the vengeful Jack arrives and finishes her off. Stepping back outside, he turns just in time to see Mark has taken his wife hostage and forced her onto the boat. Without hesitation, Jack sprints toward the dock. Luckily, the boat has only just pulled away from shore when Jack catches up, grabbing hold of the last trailing rope. Completely unaware of his presence, Mark continues threatening Lisa, demanding she take him into town to withdraw cash. The next instant, Jack appears, though this time, he isn't the one throwing the first punch. In this final confrontation, husband and wife join forces once more against their common enemy. Caught in a pincer attack from both sides, the merciless Mark is finally taken down for good. With the last of the convicts dealt with, the exhausted couple looks at each other, overwhelmed with conflicting emotions. Both had once wanted the other dead, yet in the face of mortal danger, they'd found themselves relying on, and trusting, one another after all. The film ends here. See you next time.